All right, collectors. So today on the channel, we're going to be breaking hearts. We're going to be shedding tears. We're going to be making people sad. We're going to be getting rageful comments because we are going to pick some of the top 10 worst / disappointing figures of 2024. Now, here's the deal with these. Number one, let's talk about why I'm doing this and some of the rules that I use to do it. The reason it's so hard to do this is because even if the figure nowadays is bad, it's still sometimes way better than what we had 10, 15 years ago, and to a lot of us, that wasn't so far away. To some, the younger you are, the longer time seems to the slower time seems to go, because I guess as you get older, time is different. But to us, that wasn't very long ago. And some of those figures that we've gotten from back in the day, just, were not great. But some of the newer figures that we're getting now are pretty great. And even if they're disappointing or bad, they're still actually not that bad. So I struggled a lot with this list. And there's going to be some gnashing of the teeth. There's going to be some criticism. It's okay. You're free to disagree with my decisions, with my opinions. As I said, I enjoy watching other people's lists. And I think somebody mentioned it in my previous video of the top 10 best, to see if some of my picks are in there. Did I miss the mark, or did I get close, or do we think alike, or do we not think alike? So it's just fun to go through these and just kind of take a look back at the year that was 2024 and some of the greatness and some of the disappointment and sadness and just heartbreak of the year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with just an honorable mention. You know what? And let me lay down some other ground rules. The way I pick a disappointing figure is absolutely quantitative, metrically decided by scientists? No, it's not. It's just about what I think and what I feel and how the figure makes me feel as a collector. Some of the things that I do take into consideration is what impression did this figure make? What did the quality of materials feel like? What were some of the decisions that were boneheaded on this figure? What are some of the problems that I had with it, right? What are some of its shortcomings on, the two things that I look out for the most, articulation and aesthetics. How did it hit the mark on those or miss the mark on those? And so let's go ahead and start. If I had to do, one of the things that I really don't like to do with figures is, once you give me a completed figure, it should be completed. It should stand on its own. I should not need to tinker with it anymore to fix it. I shouldn't have to, cut on it. I shouldn't have to, paint it. I shouldn't have to, excessively, put a bunch of shock oil on it to make it work. And, I shouldn't have to boil it. What am I making stew over here? Action figure stew? So that's just some of the things that right off the bat, leave me with a bad taste in my mouth. So, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get things started with an honorable mention. And I'll tell you why. Some people are going to be sad about this. It's okay. It's all right. Don't fret too much about it. I wonder where I left that. Anyways, the first honorable mention is actually a figure that I was looking forward to a lot. And it was an exclusive, and a lot of people are still chasing after it, I think. I wonder why I left the other half of it. I must have not liked it so much I chunked it. Anyways, now I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Just, I don't know where it went to. Anyways, it's probably because I was going to replace it. So the figure that we're talking about here is an honorable mention. It doesn't get a spot on there because, again, even though, because it requires work. It requires me to do more work on it. when they, they have the technology. I've seen them do it, and I've seen them make better choices. And again, this is my list. So anyways, honorable mention, Nemesis Enforcer. Why? Everybody knows that he should have a better set of wings. Well, not everybody. Some people like those wings, but I do not like those wings at all. I didn't like them at all. So that's our honorable mention. He is just not good. I don't like everything else about him. I think is good, except those wings. Those wings are such an integral part of this figure that screwing that up just screwed this guy up. So it's too bad that that's what happened. So, all right, let's just start down the list. Number 1. Again, it wasn't too bad of an egregious error, and there's going to be some controversy over this one. And I actually got pretty mad on the video when I reviewed it, and so it makes me, I still feel that way about her. Not so much now, though, that I've got one that works, and if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that this little lady here, Wolfsbane, let me down quite a bit. I believe it was this arm here that on the other one kept falling off. It just kept falling off. It wasn't, it was a QC error, but at the same time, I heard a lot of people in the comments tell me, at least 7 or 8 other people in my comments on this video, I think, if you go back and look, or, that contacted me and said, hey, it's not it's a QC thing that's way more spread than most believe, because it's also happening to me. So number 10 on the list goes to Wolfsbane for some absolutely horrid quality control. Now that it's got everything, set up the way it's supposed to be, it's fine. But because it had horrid quality control, it was hit or miss if you got the right part for it and if it's working for you. I just happened to get lucky the second time around. All right, moving on from that. What is number 9 on the list? And this is funny because this figure came with a specific figure from another list. And he's actually not that bad, but he's disappointing, and he makes me feel ick. Is disappointing in the anyways. Look, I'm not gonna talk about it too much. We're just gonna, you're gonna eventually say, oh yeah. So it's this guy. So Bushwhacker. I didn't like some of the accessories that he came with. I thought that was weird. But it's so funny that I actually gave some of those accessories away. Like this, I'm just gonna use him as a punk. Just like a punk. Enforcing some rival gang or something. I don't know, some punk in the background or something. So Bushwhacker, I didn't really care for the figure, and I kind of feel some kind of way that they made me buy this figure in order to get a really good Punisher, which made it on the top 10 list. It's an all right figure. It's just all right. It's all right. All right, let's move on because we're going to keep running through here. Number 8. And again, this is not, I feel some kind of way too, because picking up this figure actually reminded me that I'm going to have to amend my top 10 best figures, because I completely left this studio out of the equation. And they've done actually some really good work lately with another brand. And so I'm going to have to go back and fix it. But he's a little disappointing. He's not bad, but he was disappointing to me because of the restrictions and movement of them. So, and again, some of these figures at the same time, because before I show it to you, and I know I'm going to get some heat for this one, it's about the way it makes me feel, some of the work I had to do with it. Now it's fine, but I had to do a lot of work with it in order to get it there. And it had to be delicate work because I didn't want to break it, and I didn't want to rip it, and I didn't want to, anyways, there's a lot that goes into it. And that is the Mezco, the Batman. I actually like this figure now, but it was a lot of work getting him to work. You know, I had to stretch him out. I had to delicately start pulling. Now everything works really well. He can kick pretty high. Well, now that I said it, and he's been sitting down for a while, it's probably gone back to normal. Look at that. I mean, Batman can't even kick, man. I mean, Batman, come on, Batman. Anyways, he can sit down at least. See, he can sit down if he needs to. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I mean, if you start working it again, you can move his legs up. But see, that's what I'm talking about. It's a lot of work to get this little guy to do right. So that's why he's sitting where he's sitting. All right, he's not a horrible figure. It's just, and like I said from the beginning, even some of the bad figures are not that bad. All right, here, I'm going to get some more heat on this one. Boy, I'm going to take some heat. And I gave this one a, what do they call that? A bifurcated, a split decision in my review on it earlier in the year. So many people loved it. So many people said it's amazing. And the only reason I picked this up and I give it a must-have rating for me personally, and this is going to sound weird, I gave it 2 ratings. I gave it my personal biased rating, and then I gave it an unbiased rating because I couldn't see clearly with this particular figure because it was such a part of my growing up, and it was so ingrained in my head that I was just shocked that I was able to actually get one produced. So, and that is Nightwolf. So, it's personally, Nightwolf to me is an iconic figure, but it's, you know, if I were to look at it as an unbiased reviewer, it's a very meh figure. You know, he's missing a lot of articulation. He's got a lot of single joints. Not good. It's just not good. But because, you know, I'm just going to be real wary of the Frazetta Girls stuff going forward. I think it's a shame that, you know, they like a lot of other companies tend to focus on the sculpt if you're a very, very particular artist type situation. I get it, but at the same time, you're going to disappoint me if you don't give me the articulation that I want in an action figure. Perhaps they should be called something else, like posable statues. I don't know. I don't know what you call them. Anyways, let's move on from that. Dark Wolf is number 7. Now, this is a figure that I don't even have, but I don't even want, but I'm going to have to get it because, and it's going to get a little weird here. Because again, a lot of the figures, I had trouble finding figures that I absolutely, you know, wanted to put on this list, but I still found some. Anyways, and that is the Storm Loser figure. I put a picture of it right here. I don't care. I don't care for this Storm Shadow at all. I only picked it up because I'm a completist of the classified line. I don't care for this Storm Shadow. I just really don't. You know, give me my old school Storm Shadow, you know, and, you know, ninja gear. I don't like it. I don't like it. So it doesn't make me feel good. I don't like it. I know maybe some of you guys like it, but I don't. And this is my list, and we'll move on from that. I haven't even reviewed. I'm going to get it. I'll probably open one of them up to check it out, but I don't even feel like it. You know, I don't know why we picked that one. There were so many other characters that they could have gone with before they picked this one that, I mean, I'm just completely confused as to why they picked that one instead of, you know, so many others from the original line that we still have to. How about Sci-Fi? That was one of my favorite ones. You know, why don't we do that? I know we've already got Dial Tone coming. Why don't we complete the list of the Dreadnoks? Why don't we, I don't know. There's just so many more, there's just so many other characters that could have been done. Anyways, the other character that's up there, number 5, in this horridness, a lot of people are going to agree with this one. This one's just a stinker. Just a stinker. Because I had to get some parts off of eBay to make it work, and I had to literally paint them, and I had to do all this stuff to make them work. Hasbro just completely goofed this up. They just made a mess of it, and he ended up being on clearance all over the place. So I only bought the 2, and then I think I bought one on clearance to use as spare parts or something. But anyways, here he is, your boy, the insane Metalhead. And yes, his rockets are in. The rockets that... There are jokes with these already, but these rockets won't fit. They just don't, they don't sit in there. You know, you have to, the flame and stuff, it's just a mess. It's not, it was poorly executed. A poorly executed, see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? Poorly executed figure, not good. Not good. They didn't do a good job on that. So there's Metalhead. He is number 5. All right, here comes the heat. Because a lot of toy tubers said this was a fantastic figure. I disagree. I disagree heavily on this. Here we go. I'm steeling myself for the fury. Doc Ock. I don't know where to put him up here because he's got all the... I can't really make him stand very well. You know, maybe I could use this other thing to make... he doesn't have great articulation here. He's got a plastic cape, which is awful. I hate plastic capes. You guys know my story on that. You know, he's got a single joint articulate. He's got the Star Wars style articulation there with the single joint. So that drives me crazy. He does have double jointed knees. I don't know. He's got the bendy wire stuff falling off of him. It's just a mess. I don't even know what to do with him. It's just a mess. So, I don't know. I'm not having a good time with that Doc Ock. I never did. He's got terrible articulation. At least the head looks right with Molina. But I like that he's got bendy wire, but I don't know. I just don't like it. So anyways, moving on from that. That was number 4, Mr. Doc Ock. And now we come to the even more controversial one. Oh man, so many people are going to get triggered by this one. It's okay. It's all right. It's my opinion. You don't have to... Here, I'm trying to get them back here because I have them to the side. Pulled them out. My boy Raptor. Coming at you. There he is. The only great part about Raptor is this wing pack back here. He's such a great figure that Target is throwing him out the window for $10. So, you know, you have to understand, if it's such a great figure, it would not go for that amount. It would have never gotten to that level of clearance. People didn't buy it. They stopped because they saw all the problems that it had. Anyways, the figure can't look up and he can't put his arms up. These claws don't work on here. I mean, the best part about this, look, you can't even look up. You can't even look up. You know, the best part about this figure is the wings that he's got back here, which I'm probably going to use with another figure. And yeah, that's about the best thing that Raptor's got going for him. Anyways, egregious mistakes made there. So, all right, these last 2 are, I don't even have them. I don't even need to own them to know that they're stinkers. But here's the thing. If some of you guys like these things, then this is just my opinion. Don't let me yuck your yum, guys. Continue to like what you like. You know, if it brings a smile to your face. I collect stuff that nobody likes, like Joy Toy, or the Joy Toy Warhammer 40K stuff. I collect that because it was such an integral part of, you know, when I was much younger and I was playing those, you know, Warhammer games, and I always wanted to see them in a, you know, bigger scale. So, you know, people tell me those things suck, and that's okay. It's all right. You know, you can like what you still like, but this is my opinion. All right. Number 2. The only thing good that came out of this line was the van, because it is very customizable, and now Ramen Toys has made that obsolete. And that is any TMNT Mutant Mayhem thing that's come out. The movie wasn't that bad, But the figures are just junk. The figures are junk. They don't call to me. I don't want to collect them. The story was okay, but none of the figures, they just don't call to me. I don't like any of them. But guys, feel free to like them if you like them. I'm talking about this line. Let me see if I can find a picture of this line and put it over here. I told you guys it was going to end up at Ross or at Burlington Coat, and they've been showing up in droves. So, I mean, that's not a good line. It wasn't a good IP for Playmates to do. Playmates has a dubious reputation anyways. So anyways, and the top, and this is the fault of the company itself. And this is why they're getting an awful score, because it's their own fault for calling it that, for trying to trick you, for trying to bamboozle you, for trying to do shenanigans and cajole you into thinking that this thing is what it is not. And I don't own any of it either. I just don't, because I know it's not what it's purported to be. And that is any posed action figure from Mcfarlane. Any posed action. I told you guys that those Diablo, Walking Dead, Fallout, all of those, Warcraft figures were going to end up at Ross. I told all of y'all that. A few of you said, no, they're going to be amazing. Where are they now? From $30 all the way down to $3 over there at Ross or Burlington or wherever. Nobody wants those things, Just call them what they are. Call them statues. But Mcfarlane wants to confuse you. He wants to trick you into thinking that, oh yeah, those are action figures too. No, they are not. They are statues. So they do not fall in this line whatsoever, but because he classified them as such, he gets the #1 rating because they articulate a goose egg. Goose egg. They don't articulate at all. They may look beautiful, but you fail completely when you don't articulate with a flip flap, right? So anyways, it's like having a boat with a giant hole in it. It's a boat, but does it float? It's like having a car with flat tires. It's a car, but does it go anywhere? You're missing a major component of what it means to be an action figure. So anyways, that's my top 10 most disappointing or worst figures. You guys feel, let me know what your most disappointing figures were in the comments below. I'd really like to know. I'd really like to, I like watching them. I like reading through those and checking out and see what it is. And again, it's not to say that Mezco is totally bad. They did some really good work this year, and I completely missed out on the opportunity to go over that. But they did some really good stuff. So I might have to redo the top 10 again. And I have another top 10 that I like to do often, and that's called the top 10 most hunted or scalped figures. So those are fun to do. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. Special thanks to the members of the channel for their generosity, for their input, for their guidance, for their candid feedback. Without them, none of this is possible. Or without them bringing you all of this improved content is not possible. So I appreciate them very much. And guys, remember, if you're doing this hobby and you're getting into fights on the internet, you're doing it wrong, man. Nobody even listens to me. So don't work yourself up over this stuff. It's just fun. We're just doing this for fun. None of this is necessary. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, maybe consider becoming a member. And as always, as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling them out.